the super important part of the race where some of these leaders, the 20, the 24, early playoff guys were up front. The one was able to flip it on them and gain that track position and take control of the race.
This is the point of the race where the strategy flipped. They short pitted. They're taking advantage of the opportunity to not need those stage points. And, it's a different scenario than what we would have seen prior to the playoffs. The guys that are in the playoffs are needing to get those valuable points. The guys that are not are able to race for the win.
Yeah, when you're sitting on the pit box like Rudy Fugle of the 24, you think you've got a really good race car. Get as many stage points as I can. If I go back to 15th, I'll probably be able to pass my way up and maybe not win the race, but I'm going to get close enough to the front where at the end of the day, I will have more points than those guys I am racing. And that really took advantage of Phil Surgeon and the one guys to be able to flip that.
Yeah, you can see how the day flipped. Ultimately, they're able to drive back to the back bumper of the one, but they don't have a car strong enough to pull it off.
Yeah, we have this late race restart here where you have the one who's in second spot. The 19 is the leader off pit road. He's on the outside. And another great example of Ross Chastain getting a tremendous restart to gain the lead. The guy he's going to race at the end of the evening, William Byron, lined up right behind him. In this bottom lane, it just goes really well.
Yeah, he has a clean run, is able to get off the bottom. You can see that the 19 car is having to deal with the 48 on his inside, and that ends up putting him in a compromising position, and he's not able to get the run off the corner that he needed to stay outside of the one.
And this sets it up to where the 24 right here will clear him, and it'll be the one versus the 24 to the checkered flag.
Looking at this graph here, this is lap time versus race lap number. So moving across the bottom of the screen here, this is the race progressing start to end, ending at the checkered flag. The idea here is you want to have as low of a lap time, meaning the car's going as fast as possible. So the farther you are down means you're running faster lap times. In blue, we've got Ross Chastain, and in yellow, we have William Byron. So the key takeaways here, looking early in the race, you're able to see that Ross's lap times are not as good as the 24. He's got a higher line than the 24. And particularly the shape of the line, it's got more movement around, meaning he's not as consistent with his lap times. Later in the run, when he's able to stretch out and get probably cleaner air relative to the 24, his pace is similar to what the 24 was, but there was a lot more movement here early, and this movement indicates that his car wasn't driving quite as well in dirty air and traffic, what he was fighting, and it wasn't as predictable. But the important thing for the one car team is that at the end of the race, when they were able to use strategy and work their way forward and get track position, they have a very strong performing race car, very consistent lap times, meaning the car's driving well, it's predictable, and they're operating at a high level in the lead relative to the 24. And because they have the track position, the 24 is just not able to close the gap and get by them.